The snowstorm came early that year, rolling over the mountains like a white wall, swallowing everything in its path. Most families stayed indoors, tightening shutters, stacking firewood, doing whatever they could to keep warm. But Jacob Hayes and his 9-year-old daughter Lily weren't most families. They were out there in it. Not because they wanted to be, but because their old truck had skidded off the icy back road on their way home from town. They didn't crash, thank God, but the truck refused to start afterward. The heater died. The windows frosted over from the inside. The wind howled loud enough to drown their voices. Jacob wrapped his coat around Lily, rubbing her hands to keep them warm. He tried to hide his fear, but she saw it anyway. "Daddy," she whispered, her teeth chattering, "are we gonna be okay?" "We'll be just fine, Peanut," Jacob said softly, brushing snow from her hair. "Storm will pass soon. We just need to stay warm." And then, out of nowhere, Lily pointed toward the tree line. "Daddy, someone's there." At first, Jacob thought she was seeing shadows. The blizzard made everything blurry. But then he saw it too, a dark shape stumbling through the white, limping, swaying, collapsing every few steps. A person. Jacob pulled Lily close, ready to protect her if he had to. But as the figure came closer, he saw just how wrong things were. It was a woman, barely conscious, covered in blood. Her clothes torn, her skin pale blue from cold. Snow clung to her hair like frost. She stumbled once more, and this time she didn't get back up. "Oh God," Jacob whispered, already running. He reached her first, falling to his knees in the snow. He rolled her gently onto her back. She gasped, her breath shallow and broken, her eyes rolling faintly toward him. "Help," she croaked. Jacob didn't hesitate. He scooped her into his arms, feeling how limp she was, how light. He didn't know who she was or what happened to her, but he wasn't about to let someone die right in front of his daughter. "Lily," he shouted, "open the truck door." Lily ran, slipping on the snow but catching herself, yanking the passenger door open. Jacob laid the woman gently on the seat, her head falling against Lily's lap. "Daddy, she's freezing," Lily whispered, touching the woman's cheek. "I know," Jacob said, breath shaking. "We're taking her home." "But the truck." "Hold on to something." Jacob jumped into the driver's seat, turned the key, whispering a desperate prayer. The engine coughed, sputtered, then roared to life. He didn't ask why, he didn't care why. He floored the gas. Snow flew behind them as the truck fought its way onto the road. They slid, drifted, fishtailed, but Jacob kept going. The woman's breathing was faint but still there. Lily kept whispering to her, "It's okay, Daddy, taking you somewhere safe, don't give up." 20 minutes later, after what felt like hours, they reached their cabin. Jacob didn't let the truck stop before he lifted the woman again, carrying her inside, laying her on the couch near the fire. He wrapped her in blankets, rubbed her hands, checked her wounds. A deep gash in her side. Bruises around her wrists. Something terrible had happened. "Daddy," Lily whispered, standing beside him with fear in her eyes. "Did someone hurt her?" Jacob didn't answer. He didn't need to. He heated water, cleaned the wound, tore strips from an old shirt to make bandages. He worked with the steady hands of a man who had patched himself up more times than he'd admit. Lily fetched whatever he asked for, blankets, hot water, towels, her little hands trembling. Hours passed before the woman opened her eyes again. They were green, terrified, confused. "Where am I?" she whispered. "You're safe," Jacob said gently. "I'm Jacob. This is my daughter, Lily. We found you in the storm." The woman's eyes filled with tears. You shouldn't have helped me." "Why would you say that?" Jacob frowned. "Because they might come looking," she whispered. "The men, the ones who," her voice broke. Jacob exchanged a glance with Lily. "What men?" he asked, voice low. But before she could answer, headlights swept across the front window. Jacob froze. Someone was outside. Lily clutched his arm. Daddy, is it them? Jacob quickly moved her behind him. Stay with her. Don't make a sound. He grabbed the rifle he kept in the corner, not for hunting, but for emergencies like this, and stepped to the window. 3 trucks. Men getting out. Flashlights cutting through the snow. Jacob's jaw clenched. He recognized most of them, local troublemakers, old ranch hands with too much liquor and not enough conscience. And one man leading them. Roy Keller, a name Jacob hated more than any other in the county. The man who had bullied him for years. The man who called him a worthless single father. The man who once threatened to take his daughter away during a dispute, sneering that a loser like you shouldn't be raising a kid. And now Roy Keller was standing outside Jacob's home, pounding on the door. Jacob Hayes, Roy shouted. We're looking for a woman. She stole something that belongs to us. You seen her. Jacob didn't move. Didn't respond. Inside, the woman trembled. Lily wrapped an arm around her, whispering, My daddy won't let them hurt you. Jacob knew exactly what Roy Keller did to girls he wanted to keep quiet. He knew what kind of things men like that thought they could get away with. And he wasn't letting them touch her. He opened the door just a few inches. Roy smirked the moment he saw him. Well, look who's playing hero tonight. Jacob didn't rise to it. There's no woman here, just me and my daughter. Roy sniffed the air. Funny, your chimney smoke smells like someone lit fresh bandages. Jacob didn't blink. Roy stepped closer. Move aside, we're common in. Jacob lifted the rifle a little higher. You're not stepping foot in my home. Behind Roy, his men shifted nervously. Nobody liked the look in Jacob's eyes, because they'd seen it only once before, years ago, the day his wife died and he nearly lost himself to the rage of grief. Roy chuckled. You want to start something, Hayes, over a woman who ain't even yours. Jacob's voice dropped to a cold, lethal whisper. She's under my roof, that's enough. Roy's expression changed. The wind screamed across the porch. Snow spiraled around them like swirling ghosts. Finally, Roy spat in the snow. You'll regret this, Hayes. He signaled to his men. They turned and left. For now. Jacob shut the door, bolting every lock, reinforcing it with a heavy wood beam. The woman stared at him, blinking away tears. You shouldn't have protected me, she whispered. They'll come back. Jacob knelt in front of her. We'll face them. Why, she cried, why risk everything? Jacob looked at Lily. My daughter. My responsibility. My home. My heart. Then back at the woman. Because someone once saved us when we had nothing, he said softly. Now it's our turn. The woman broke down, covering her face. Lily hugged her. We won't let anything bad happen. Daddy's strong. That night, Jacob kept watch by the window with his rifle across his lap. The woman slept by the fire. Lily slept beside her, holding her hand. When morning came, Jacob saddled his horse and rode into town to the sheriff. He didn't ask for help. He demanded justice. By sundown, lawmen were raiding Roy Keller's property. They found evidence of kidnapping, trafficking, the woman's belongings, and worse. Roy Keller was arrested on the spot. His men scattered like cowards. 2 weeks later, the sheriff visited Jacob's home with news. You saved her life, Jacob, he said quietly. If you hadn't taken her in that night, she wouldn't have survived the storm or those men. When the sheriff left, the woman stood in the doorway, clutching her coat, tears shimmering. I don't know how to thank you, she whispered. You already have, Jacob said gently. How? You lived. The woman stepped closer. Can I stay for a little while, until I figure out where to go? Jacob smiled softly. You're safe here, as long as you need. Lily grabbed her hand eagerly. Does that mean you'll stay for dinner?" The woman laughed, the first real laugh she'd had in months. "Yes, sweetheart, I think I will." And as the sun dipped behind the snowy pines, Jacob realized something. Sometimes helping a stranger doesn't change their fate. It changes yours.